Okay, so in this video we are going to put a nice grassy area down here first. And what you're going to do is pick up some of your sap green and some cad yellow. If you don't have those colors, just use the closest colors you have to it. Alright. You got a nice bright green. More yellow than green, I would say. Let's try that. Have to experiment to see what you like the best. So I'm going to just lay that on there. And I'm going to tap underneath here. With my bristle brush. Just going to tap, 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 tap. Some nice grassy area. I'm using the top of my brush just to get that really nice grassy look. I'm going to come down, come over here, and so I'll come all the way over to the bottom of those mountains. Right over, just tap, tap, tap. I'll tap along this line. Get a nice see how you get different color greens when you do that? Different values of green when you got some yellows and greens mixed together. Good. So because the shadow is on this side, we're going to keep this grass over here a little darker. Okay? Good. Just keep tapping. Pick up some more green this time to keep a darker color. Just keep it going. You can even pull up a few little lines here to make it look like there might be some background trees far away. Just a few little trees in the background here. There we go. Good. If you don't have enough paint, just put some paint back there. Pull up. Nice little distant trees. Just tapping over the area again and pulling up just so I can show you that if your paint dries, just put more on, that's all. Now, these are pretty distant, so they're pretty small. Good. Marvelous. So what we'll do now is we'll continue on down. Might even put a little river or something there too, but I'm just going to put the grassy area on first just to keep that going. Alright. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to start over here. Tapping on with my bristle brush. The bristle brush gives you a nice texture. Almost makes grass for you, see? See how nice and grassy that looks? It's because of the brush. If you used a synthetic brush, you just get very smooth lines, and you'd have to rework the grass several times to get what you're looking for. So the bristle brushes work really well. So we'll just continue on. Let's see, we'll go to the lighter side over here. I want to keep this side a bit lighter because that's where the sun is. And the other side a little darker because that's where the shadow is. Always keep mind of your shadows and your sun, where your light is coming from. And where your shadows go. And that way when you get your composition done, you can know where your lights and your shadows go. It might get a little darker down this area. Okay. Alright, so keep going. You can add a little bit of yellow ochre to your mixture, and that will give you some nice different colors of your greens and yellows. It's a pretty color. You can rework your grass if you don't like the colors, or if you want to change something up. It's whatever you think, whatever colors you like. It's a nice green grass, and I'm going to lighten that up with some yellow in a little while. So I'm just tapping all over the place because I want to mix in some of that yellow ochre with the green to tone it down a little bit. It's kind of a bright green or a strong green. I'm not too fussy about too strong. But the yellow ochre added to green, or yellow, it makes really nice colors. Yellow ochre. Use it as much as you can. So I'm going to darken up that area now on this side here, so I'm going to go back and add a little bit of my blue to my mixture of green and yellow. Keep it dark on that side. There we go. So that's pretty nice. Good. Okay, so I'm going to go into just my yellow. Oops. I'm a noisy bunch. So just my yellow. And I'm going to go back up here again to get that brightened up in that area. See how pretty that is? Alright. Make it nice and yellow. Good. Down a little bit here. You can even jump over a spot there just to give it some shadow in between those colors. Just adding a few highlights here and there. So, highlights really make your painting jump out. Now I'm thinking I might come down to a little river right here. Maybe it's coming down this way or coming from behind the trees somewhere. So I'm just thinking, trying to make this up as I go along. Come down, so you come over and down. That'll give the illusion of a hill. See? It's almost like a little hill. Good. And we will get some yellow ochre and add it to that yellow. And we'll come down. I want to leave those darks. I don't want to. I'll lay it on top of here a little bit. Let's start at the top here. And then come on down. And we'll just think maybe there's a little river. Maybe it's coming off behind there. Let's use our imagination to see where it's coming from. I'm thinking it might come out through here and run down. Let's see. Probably over that way. Let's see. Not sure. We'll see. We'll keep playing with it until we get something we like. There we go. Might want to lighten up a bit more yellow. Good. So as you can see, grass is pretty easy, but you do have to go back and forth just to get some of those different colors and different values of color. Okay, it's kind of nice, isn't it? Trying to keep those shadows back there. That's kind of nice. See, now we can put a little river or something in there. Let's just take some ultramarine blue and some white and see if we can come up with a little bit of a river here. Let's see. Maybe it's coming back here somewhere. And we'll just pull it out. Just go back and forth. Get a little bit of a river in here. I'm not sure. Maybe it's coming over this way. Maybe it's coming over this way. We'll just make some little marks here. And then it goes over here, down around here. So let's just use that as a guide, okay? It's always nice to draw it out first, and then you can see where you're going with it. I'm just going back and forth, horizontal lines. Horizontal, don't be tempted to go up and down or diagonal or anything. Horizontal is what works. There we go. Good. And if you don't like it, just paint over it with your grass. So don't worry about it too much. Let's just go. And right now we're just trying to figure things out. And that grass, my grass is still wet, so you can draw yours first if you like. Alright. We can make some changes along the way. Just want to show you, I want to show you how a painting progresses and the changes you can make if you don't like it and all kinds of stuff. So that's why I just continue doing things and trying to make things up as I go along. That way you can see how some artists or myself bring a painting together. I'm going to take a small fan brush and I'm going to load it with some dark colors, okay? Some burnt umber and some blue. Some sap green. And then I'm going to put a few little trees right here. So probably put a little, just put a line here, just a few little evergreen trees. Make your line first. And once you get that done, so what we'll do is we'll put a little tree here with our corner of our fan brush. So we'll make our little line first. And then we'll take the corner of the brush and tap up some of those smaller ones. Stay in the middle, then pull out. Stay in the middle and pull out. Stay in the middle and pull out. Right down to the grass. Alright. Good. And we'll put another one next to it. Let's put another one next to it. A little taller this time. So get your line down so you can get to the top of your tree. And then just tap, tap. A couple little taps up there. And then as you come down, stay in the middle and then pull out. Stay in the middle, pull out. Stay in the middle and pull out. Stay in the middle and pull out. Stay in the middle and pull out. They can be a little tricky. Stay in the middle and pull out. But you can go back over them again. Alright, so we'll get that done. Good. So that's 2 and 3. So we'll make another line. Here's your line. Corner your brush, just a little tap in the middle there, just so you can get tiny little branches. And then in the middle and pull out. In the middle, pull out. Pull out. Middle, pull out. Well, I should say tap out, tap, 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 tap. When you get down to the bottom, you don't have to worry as much. You can just tap away. I'm still using the corner of my brush. As long as you get some shapes of trees. Good. So let's do the other side. Let's put a tree here on the edge of the bank. We don't want the trees to be all the same size, so try to make them different sizes. I'm just touching at the top there, barely touching, and now I'm tapping in the middle and I'm pulling out. Tapping in the middle, pulling out as I'm coming down. Tap in the middle, pulling out. Tap in the middle, pulling out, and just tap, tap, tap the rest of the way down. Oh, well, I fell over the river. Okay, that's another one. We're going to be putting some highlights on these, so you have to shape them up, we will. Alright, so we got another one to do. Maybe a little tiny bit shorter. Turn your brush, make a couple little taps, and pull out, pull out, pull out, tap in the center, pull out. Okay, as long as they look, I'll do some bigger ones for you someday, so we can get a real good close-up of them. And let's see, maybe another one over here, maybe a little bit taller. And touch, down and pull out to the side, out. Center out, center out, center out. A little tricky. Takes practice, as you can see. I'm not, you know, still having a little bit of a problem. But I'll shape them up as we go along. Alright, because that's a bit too bright. Make sure your paint is nice and dark so you can have a really nice dark underpainting. Good, and we'll do one more, maybe two more. We'll do another one right here, a taller one. And we'll just tap, center, out, center, out, center, out, center, out, center. Looks like a scary tree to me. Alright. We'll just fix that up. Sometimes your brush, you can see the brush brings the edges down or up. Alright, I'm just going to put one more tiny one on the end here. Or just touch. Practice them before you actually do them on your painting because they're a little tricky. You know, maybe you can find a better way to do them. Maybe you can use a flat brush and just make a line and pull them out to the sides. I'll see if I can come up with some different ways to do these trees and make them easier for you. So now we got that much done. So we'll pull up some little trees in the distance here just by tapping on some your leftover dark paint and pulling up some trees. It looks like far away, distant trees. You can even lighten them up a little because they are distant. You don't want to be too bright. Just add a little bit of yellow to your dark and just tap, 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 tap and pull up, 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 up. See that? You get some distant trees. Isn't that cool? And you can do them over here too. And pull up, up, up. Good. So see that? So I hope you can see that because it's really cute and it's very easy. Okay, so let's highlight a little bit of those trees just to bring them out a bit more with a bit of yellow on your dirty brush and the dark colors that you're using, and just tap, tap, tap on the edge there with the corner of your brush, that's all. So now we'll do each one just on the right side because that's where the sun is coming in. And we'll keep them a little bit brighter on the right side, just sort of get that on there. If it's too yellow, we'll just add a little bit more dark to our color. Alright, so just trying to brighten up a little bit there on the edge. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap over that again because I find it a bit too yellow. And just go back in here and just tap over that again. Good. Alright. Kind of brings them out on the light on that side there. And if they get too bright, just go back in with your darks and go back in between them just to make more shadows, that's all. Alright, so just want to darken them up a little bit more so they won't be too, because they are further back, so you don't want to lose the shape. So just put some darks back in if they get too much. Because, I'm telling you that because it's so easy to put too much on there. That's better. So now I'm going to put my yellow on again. We got a little bit of sunlight coming in on this side. Just going to lighten them up a little bit. You barely see them because they're kind of small, and we don't need a lot there because we want to keep them a little dark in the back. Alright. See, I have a little bit too much yellow here, so just tap into it. Don't go all over the place. Just go into the spot that's kind of messed up a little bit. Alright. Good. So just take a small flat chiseled edge synthetic brush and put some blue, just some blue, and a bit of white, a little more white than blue, and we'll bring our little river down here, make a little waterfall. So just touch and pull, touch and pull. See, little waterfalls, okay? And then we will take our blue and we'll come down the river. So we got that. We'll just move that along here. And we'll take our blue and we'll come down the river. We got a bit of blue, but we don't want all the highlight yet. Just going to brighten it up a little bit there for you. Alright, let's just go in here. Put this in here. Now, if you notice that as we go further along, the video may look a little bit different because I accidentally deleted a few files, a few clips, and this is one of them. And what I had to do was redo part of the painting again, but I had to redo instead of doing the whole painting, I just started this section. So it looks a little different. That's why I had to redo a couple of clips. It's hard to understand, but it's a lot easier than starting the whole painting all over again because I have a lot of it done and everything else came out fine. But I accidentally deleted it. So that wasn't fun when I found that out. That happens sometimes, you know, where I don't have anybody to help me with my recordings. I might turn my back and press, thinking I'm pressing record, and here it's on pause. So that's happened to me a couple of times. Alright, so I think I'm going to just put that little river there. It might look a little different, but at least I'm able to show you the techniques anyway. So this little part here, the rocks right here, they come over here like this. Just pull straight over, straight over, straight over, straight over. That just gives you somewhere for the water to fall, okay? Alright, so just pull him over. Good. And now we're just going to make that little falls. And then as we go along, we will make it even better. Touch over and down. Touch over and down, touch over and down. And then we move around like this. So we'll be doing all that and straightening it all up. Good. We'll do a little highlight on the grass. That's good. We'll just leave that there like that for now. Just do little highlights on the grass there now. So we'll just add a little highlight up here, up underneath those trees, so we can blend the trees in with the grass, right? Because you don't want the trees to look like they're just sitting there. And alright, so just tap into the bottom of the trees. Good. That's a little too bright. We'll fix it. So we're just adding some highlights to the grass. All over the place. Down over the hill. Good. And this one here is a little bit too bright. I'll tone it down. So we get it too bright, just go back over it again. the easiest way to do it. Make that grass go up around the trees. Give it a natural look. Good. Oh, tap, tap, tap. Alright. Okay, that's good. See, you put the grass underneath the trees to make the trees look like they're into the grass. Alright. Alright, so now what we want to do is you want to darken up those rocks and highlight that water, and then whatever else you want to do with it. It'd be better if this stuff was dry here. Sometimes it's better if it's dry. When we were doing the grass, it was nice that it was all wet because it'd all blend in with each other. And but sometimes it's nice for the underpainting to be dry before you add any more paint to it. Especially if you got, like trying to darken these rocks, I couldn't do it because my paint underneath was wet, so it kept lightening it up. So if you have these really dark, you already had them dark, it'd be better if they were dry if you're trying to put highlights on them. So it depends on the situation, right? So I'm just going to get burnt umber and my ultramarine blue and try to see if I can get this darker. I'm going to put some burnt umber. I'll get it. I'll get it. Just doesn't want to dry yet. There we go. Nice and dark. We'll highlight those now a little while. Good. Probably bring some of that back here for a little riverbank. Good. And maybe we'll go back here a little bit more. Riverbank and some rocks. See, shape it up the way you want it. Good. I just have a small flat brush. We're just going to lighten up that water there. So I'm going to go into my white. Maybe add a little tiny bit of blue, not too much. More white than anything. And I'm just going to come out here and over and down. There we go. Just a little tap for maybe some water fell down there. Just go back and forth here, lighten up that water a bit. There we go. Now as we come down, let's bring a few dark lines in here just so it won't be too bright. I always like to have shadows. Darks against lights. Darks against lights is nice. Some more white, and we are going to make our waterfall again. See how I go back and forth till I get what I'm looking for? Alright, so I'm just got a small flat brush and white. Touch over and down. Touch over and down. And touch over and down. On top of what you just did, see, it comes from here. And then we'll come over here and come meet up with that one. Touch over and down. Touch over and down. Touch over and down. So it gives it a little bit of a waterfall. The water is falling. Yes, because the paint is wet, see, it's absorbing my white. So when that dries completely, I may just give it another highlight of white. I'm just going to tap on a little bit of falls coming on down. Just pushing in, pushing in. Just so it looks like the water is falling down. The water is falling down. A little bit rough, isn't it? That's okay. A big old hand in the way. Alright, so I'm just going to move this over here a little bit just so it looks like it's moving, that's all. And smooth it out a little bit. Alright. Good. Good, good, good. Add a little bit more white to your water here. Just tap on the top of what you already did. So, just to lighten it up a little bit. Shows some movement in your water. Makes it pretty. Good. Just get out a small filbert brush or a small flat brush. It's okay, whatever. And I'm just going to make a few little rocks along the shoreline there just to give it an edge or make a shoreline, a little bit of a line there. So I'm just going to use my burnt umber and a little bit of black. I found that the ultramarine blue didn't make it dark enough for me, so sometimes I have to add black in order to get. So I'm just going to leave little tiny bits of rocks here. Look, see that? Just touch, just touch, just touch. Horizontal, horizontal. Don't get too excited. Little rocks along the shore. And you can even put some up here, it's okay. There we go. You can put some in the water. So we'll have like one here. See where you pulled out some of that already? So that gives you kind of a hint. My whole arm. Okay, so there we go. Smaller they get as you go back, okay? And the bigger they get as you come forward. Good. Good. And you're getting this one darker. This big old rock here. And some rocks here, and probably coming up over the bank. Depends on where you want them. There's a few here. You know, whatever you want. You don't want too many rocks. You don't want to, you know, distract from what you already have down there. A few around here. Just give it some interest. Maybe a little one here. I don't know. Make it up as you go along. It's your world, so you decide where you want your rocks, okay? You decide how many you want and where you want them. Alright. We'll put some highlights on those in a little while. So we're almost finished now. I might put a little bit of a tree or something here. I'm not sure yet. I'll have a look. Now, as you know, I go all over the place when I'm painting. I start at the trees, and I'll go back down here, and I'll go back to the trees, and I'll punch around at some rocks, and I'll go back to some grassy areas. So you can go all over the place if you like, because that breaks the monotony of doing one place all the time. Like you spend an hour on just a tree, you could really get frustrated and you won't enjoy it. So go all over the place. Enjoy going different places. Make sure your brush is clean when you change colors. That's all you got to worry about. Don't get lazy. I know I get lazy. That's why I'm saying it. Don't get lazy and not clean your brush. If you go, especially go from dark to light colors, you get yourself in big trouble. And then you mess up your painting and then you're like, oh no, I got to do all that again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a tree right here. I'm going to go right from the top down. I'm trying to decide where I want my tree to end. I'm going to say probably here. Just lay a little. Okay, so I'm just trying to get this so I don't ruin it. Touch and pull. And push harder as you get to the bottom. Good. Pretty scary, isn't it? Now I'm going to bring another one out from the other side. I'm going to meet up. Okay. I'm going to meet up. Well, I'm going to start here and pull up, get skinnier. Now, if it's easier for you to start here and pull down, you can certainly do that because you might have more control. You touch, and then as you're coming down, you push a little harder to fatten it up a bit, see? And we have the tree bottom nice and thick. Okay. Good. Good, good, good. This is going to be a branchless tree. No, not a branchless tree. A leafless tree. How's that? Let's make a leafless tree. Oops. Oops, 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 oops. I should have quit while I was ahead. Well, that's okay. Trees can be all kinds of weird old ways. Good. So we have to fill in any spaces that got white coming through, or some of the canvas coming through, or some of the background coming through. Just give it a second coat, but just be careful because it's easy to do what I'm doing here, and that is going outside the lines. It's because my chiseled edge brush is not chiseled edge as it should be. Make sure it's nice and chiseled so you can get those nice fine lines. Make sure you buy synthetic chiseled edge flat brushes in probably 3 sizes. It's a must. You must have these brushes because if you don't have a Filbert, a fan brush, we might be able to do it with a fan brush, but they can do amazing things. And so the sun is coming this way, so the shadow should be coming this way somehow. Make sure you keep an eye out for your shadows. Good. And while you got your brush, while we're here, pull up a few little twigs or something coming up from the ground there. Alright. There's a little bit of a shadow coming out here. Not much because the sun is over here. Good. Take your long liner brush and have a little bit of water on it, but not so that it's dripping because it'll go on your water. It'll go on your canvas. Okay, just tap it off, especially the part above your brush part, that silver part. And I never mentioned the name because I never pronounce it properly. Furel or something. I think it's F-U-R or something. Not going to worry about it right now. So we're going to make some little branches coming off of here. So just pull out, use the very top of your brush, pull out some branches. Hardly touch the canvas. As long as you got a bit of water on there, you're fine. Alright. You'll be fine. As long as you got some water. But not much. Not enough to drip all over the place. Good. Good, good, good. There we go. Now if you have a hard time with these, I'll show you a little trick now in a minute that you can do. It will give you some really cool branches and you won't know the difference. See, mine are coming out a bit thick in some places. More water, more water. Alright. Make sure it doesn't drip. Alright, let's see if we can get this to work. Almost. Almost. All right. Let's get some more up here. Wiggling them around. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Put on some music. That'll get your hand moving. You'll be da 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 da. You'll have lots of wiggles. I don't have any music because I don't want to get distracted. I don't want you guys hearing my music in the background unless I put in my own originals, which I've done in some of my videos, and I hope you like them. I might even be singing for you live, just to show you what I do. So that may be coming up a little later if you like to see some of that. It won't be too much; it'll just be enough to show you what other things I do in life besides paint. It's always know what else you do in life, especially when you get used to seeing someone on YouTube and you're like, I wonder what else they do. I like to sing, record music. Okay, so it looks like that's enough. So I'm going to show you my little trick. So this is where your colored pencil will come in handy. Okay, I'm just using a black one. If you got a dark brown one, you can use that. And this gives you some extra lines, like really thin lines. And because it's a colored pencil, it'll, if you ever need to put leaves or anything on there, you'll be able to do that because not a colored pencil, watercolor pencil. It's a watercolor pencil. Don't use colored pencils because this way, if you decide to put leaves on or you want to blend it in with your painting, then once you add water to these watercolor pencils, it turns to paint, like a paint like. But see, look how you can get these nice little skinny tops without any effort. See, watch. Look, and it all blends in so well. So if you can't get your brush to do the work for you, get a watercolor pencil, watercolor. Okay, don't get mixed up with colored pencils because you won't be able to do much with those. But if you had to paint over the area with a watercolor pencil, it'll work. It'll just blend in with your paint. But a colored pencil would just show through. It wouldn't be any good. But see all those nice little lines? You can make tons of them now. You can really, really make as many as you want, and lots of tiny ones. As many as you want. See? And make them squiggly. I think that's enough. I think that's enough. Good. And all we have to do is highlight the rocks, and if there's anything else you see that you want to do, we'll do some highlighting on the tree, highlighting on the rocks, and if we come up with something else exciting, we'll add it to it. You could also add a little cabin here if you wanted to. You could add another tree over here in the background, taller tree. All kinds of things you could do. You could put a horse in there behind a fence. Oh, all kinds of things. So just get a small flat brush for your highlights, okay? And for the highlight on the trunk, just take a bit of white and add it to that dark color that you had, the brown and black, blue, whatever you used. And the sun is shining on the right, so let's add some highlight to the right with the chiseled edge of your brush. Just scrape on a few highlights. Don't put a straight line, miss a piece, jump all over the place. Don't lose your brown underneath. Good. Now wipe off your brush because there's too much on there if there's too much. And then what you just put on, just move it around a little bit, okay? Good. See? Just move it around. Nice, isn't it? See? If you need any more white, add a little bit of white to your color again. Just a little bit more this time, just so we can get a bit of, just a dab there. Don't touch, don't push, don't pull, just touch, touch, touch. Just a few little highlights there, and maybe a little bit in here. Although it's a shadowed area, isn't it? If you want a little bit on these, just put a little bit here and there, just to give them a nice effect. Just tap, just touch. Don't Try not to, if you push, you're probably going to just tap if you have to, and tap will give you more texture too, you know. Just tap on a few little highlights there. And make that tree look like it's coming over that one, see? Okay, we'll leave that. I think I'm okay with that. You know, you can always pick at it many hours after. But I have to call it finished, that part finished, because we'll never end this video if I don't do something. I'm going to put a bit of highlight on this up here, down here. Just using the same burnt umber and a bit of blue or black and adding white to it, that's all. And then I'm just putting some highlight. Just making the top of a rock here. Just touching, look, I'm just touching those little rocks that you just had there. Just touch, 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 touch. Touch, 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 touch. Just a little tap at the corner of your brush. This one here you're just going to touch and pull over. And underneath here. And then touch, 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 touch. Now you can add flowers to this or... Okay. So I don't think I need to do much more. I could do so much with it. I could add flowers and stuff, but I'm going to let you decide that. I'll put that in another painting. Just adding some highlights. I think I got all the detail in that I want. And so I'm just going to highlight these little rocks down here by just putting this here and touch, 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 touch. Little highlights on those rocks. Don't even have to do very much. Just tap and touch. Pull over on those bigger rocks here. And bigger rock here and here. Touch, 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 touch. Just to get those little highlights and rocks. So that should do it. Good, so that's a nice painting. Came out really nice. I might add some clouds to it now.